Yeah. All right. Last time we did the first three vowels, the A, the E, and the I. And tonight we continue with, it's still a rehearsal of the video of the O vowel and the U vowel. So, try to organize this and do this. Drawing pad. All right, whiteboard. Hooray! The O-type vowel. The O-type. The O-type is the most common ones is a single dot above, a little bit more to the right, above the consonant, or it is above a vav. This one is called a golem, and this one is called a golem vav. So both are long, like in the word shalom. This is the word shalom. You have the shin, the lamed, and this is not a vav, but it's an O and a mem. And the A sound comes from this symbol. Anybody knows how this symbol is named?
Kamet.
The kamets, yes, the kamet. So in this case, shalom has 4 letters, and as you might know that it seems like words of significance in Hebrew all have 4 letters. So that's interesting. We'll come back to that, but the golem and the golem vav are the most common O sounds. And for instance, in yellow, that's the O sound, yellow, O sound, the O sound. There are some other types of O sounds. And maybe you remember that the kamets as a T also could be an O sound. And when it does, it has a different name. It's still called kamets, but it's a kamets chatuf. And this is short. And the other one is a kamets with 2 dots in front of it, and that's a chatef kamets. These are not so common as the golem or the golem vav. And this one is reduced. So we have the golem, that's just a dot. The golem vav, where the vav is used as the carrier of the O sound. These are most common. This is the most common O sound you will find in Hebrew. And you have the kamets and the chatef kamets. The kamets chatuf, it's the same T as in the A sound, but this is also an O sound. And there are some rules, and we don't bother about the rules, but there are some rules when the T in a syllable or in a lettergreep, when it's an O sound or when it's an A sound. But normally the T symbol is for the letter A, but this is just an exception. It's the Kamet Hatuf, it's a short O sound. And this is the reduced, it's even shorter. So some examples. You do this. And this is the word mo. And you start with the mem, and then you draw the vav, and then you draw the dot. Mo. This is an open syllable. Because it has a consonant and a vowel. And you can continue the sound, mo. The other one, a closed syllable, we all know that, is the word yom. And you do this again, the first symbol, one, then you do the vav, then the dot on the vav, and you do the final mem. This is a closed syllable. It has a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. So what you need to understand that this vav over here is a vowel and not a consonant. We will learn later on in Hebrew, when you are going to parse the sentence, ontleden, you will see the section. There are rules in Hebrew, as I understand it. This cannot happen, and this cannot happen. So when you see a vav and a consonant before and after the vav, you know it's a vowel. That's the way to understand it. In a closed syllable, the vav is a vowel and not a consonant. Dus in een gesloten lettergreep. Je hebt lettergrepen van een woord. Een woord bestaat uit meerdere lettergrepen. En een lettergreep kan open zijn of gesloten zijn. Als een lettergreep open is, heb je een medeklinker gevolgd door een klinker. En als een lettergreep gesloten is, dan heb je een medeklinker, klinker, medeklinker. En dat is we leren nog later dat je dus deze vav niet als een medeklinker ziet, maar als een klinker. Deze vav, this vav is a vowel because it's a closed syllable. We will the lesson of the syllables we do today, so you get a better understanding. But this is two examples: an open syllable, een open lettergreep, and a closed syllable, een gesloten lettergreep. An open syllable has a continuous sound, mo. You can continue that, and a closed syllable ends with a medeklinker, with a consonant, yom. Some examples of open syllables. We do some, oh, I need to do my, the O sound, and of course, with the vav. also an O sound. This one has this accent on it, and this one just a line on top of it. The word bow. You see that the golem is on the top left side of the letter. So when you have the letter, when you have drawn the letter, the golem, this golem, is on the top left side of the letter. Also here with the aleph, it's on the top left side. This is called bow. Another example, it continues, you can have the gimel. This is go. Oh, sorry. Go. And with the vav, it's still go. And a line under that. Some words now that we might know. The word rosh, resh, an aleph, and a shin. Rosh, the golem is over here. We had the word yom already. This is another one. This is the word tov or good. So this is Rosh, from Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, like this. This is spell. I just spell it out, not transliterate it.
Hoeft er dan bij Rosh geen golem op die aleph?
Nee. Zal ik even naar mijn scherm kijken, bijvoorbeeld. Nee, de golem staat hier en de alef wordt dus niet uitgesproken. Het is een... oh, er zegt iemand wat. Nee, het is geen leesmoeder. Het geluid is slecht bij jou. Oh. Heeft meer mensen last van slecht geluid? Kunnen jullie me slecht verstaan?
Kan je goed verstaan?
Zeg het ook maar. Wij kunnen je goed verstaan.
Oké.
Nou, prima hoor. Je moet die alef niet als een zo'n haakje zetten.
Nee, ik schrijf alleen het woord even op rosh. Dat is, als je het met een haakje doet, dan krijg je dit. Oh nee, daarvoor, sorry. Dan zit er nog de O tussen. Haakje en dan de shin. Zo zou je het translitereren. Een R, een R, een O, een komma en een S. And this would be the T, the O, and the B with a line under it. Tov. Like Tov and Rosh.
So Ronald, in that Aleph one, that's not a mater there.
No, it's not a mater. No.
Oh.
The golem is carried by the resh.
Okay, got it.
The letter resh carries the golem, and the aleph is there as a sound, as an ending sound.
Okay, thank you.
So to summarize it, the most common one is the golem. And it's on top of the letter, like for instance, the letter bet. It's on the top left side of the letter over here. The column Vav, let's use an actual letter. Then the Vav is a mother, a mater, and it's carrying the column. So the column moves from the B to the Vav. The dot moves in that direction. So this is also pronounced as bow, and this is also pronounced as bow. Both are long. Long O's. This is normal long, and this is historically long. So this one is historically long, and this is normal long. Transcribed like this and like that. Then we have an O sound that doesn't appear as much as the column. I'm going to use the Aleph to make it simple. And it looks like a T. And in special cases, this is pronounced as an O, and it's short. And they are reduced. So this is very short, reduced. Now there is a problem with one consonant, this one. This is the sin. So what do you do when you have this symbol? Is it a sin because of the dot on the left side, or is it a shin plus an O? So the text says the dot of the column after shin can look like the left-sided dot of the sin, and the dot of the column after sin may overlap with the sin's dot. So you need to know from the context if it's a sin or a shin. So this is, you need to know from the context if the word is really a sin sound or a shin sound. But in most cases, when you see two dots on this letter, you can assume that it's the shin plus the column, and not a sin with another symbol on the right corner. So these are for the O sound. And now we do the U sound. And that's more easy, the U type. It's either three dots beneath the consonant. This is called a kibbutz. Or it is a vav with a dot inside the vav. And this is called a shurek. It's a U sound. The shurek is historically long. And the kibbutz is long. And in some cases, is it short, but it depends on, it's the same symbol. One example. The mem. You pronounce it as mu. And this is shuf. You pronounce it as shuf. So this is the shurek, and this is the kibbutz. This is the word yud. And it's a closed syllable. You have the word kum. And it's also closed. Oh, sorry. I will save this, and we go now. Wait a minute. Where are we? Now I repeat the lesson from Charles. And now we might have a better understanding of all the vowels. So let's listen to Charles again. It's the same lesson as 2 weeks ago, but now I took some extra time to explain the letters, and maybe you now have a better understanding.
Vowels, full chart. Okay, this is a continuation of the Introduction to Vowels module, and we need to give a little fuller discussion than we did in that module. This is the screen we ended up with at the end of the vowels introduction, and this was the chart that I recommended that you have in your mind as you read. It's pedagogically useful for reading, but we need to change it a little bit. Now, just as a reminder, we have long tone vowels here, short tone, half or reduced vowels here. These two rows are fine. What we need to do is we need to split this row into 2 rows. And the challenge here is going to be to get this to all fit on one screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these guys. Guess I can just click them. Ugh, it's easier to do it this way. You know what they are anyway. And let's go back to our yellow color. I had said these were long tone vowels. Technically that's not true, because if there is a mater, it's not a long tone vowel, it's a historically long vowel. So let us split this up into the tzere. We put the tzere yud up there, and get rid of him. So we have the tzere yud here and the tzere here now. So this is our historically long vowel, and this is our long tone vowel. They're pronounced the same though, which is what the other chart showed us. So tzere yud and yud. Likewise, we'll rewrite our hidik yud up here, and we'll get rid of this guy. So now we have hidik yud as our historically long vowel, and hidik as our long tone vowel. Likewise, we'll do our holam vav up here, and we'll get rid of this guy. And we'll do the same here. This we have to get rid of both of them and rewrite them. So our shuduk goes up here because it has the mater, and down here we stay with the kibbutz. So these two columns are the same, or these two rows are the same, like I said. Here we have our long tone vowels. Here we have our historically long vowels. And there's one here I didn't add. The hey, Kametz hey. This is our historically long A. This one only occurs at the end of words. The rest of these can be elsewhere. Now, what do you want to say about these? Let's note a couple things. What you see here is that there's a hidik, a long tone hidik, and a short tone hidik. And there's a long tone shuduk and a short tone shuduk. For reading purposes, for the most part, read it as short. The rule is that you should read it as short unless it is in a open syllable or a stressed syllable. Then you read it as long. We'll talk about syllables in a later module. But for reading, if you follow the other chart, you'll be fine. The value of this, well, the value is that it's more correct, but transliteration is really is important here. So let's look at how you transliterate all these Hebrew vowels. Let's start with the short vowels because they're the baseline, really. So the patach is transliterated as a. I'm going to actually make a little thinner line here so I can fit it in these little spaces a little better. So A is how you transliterate a patach. Sagol is E, hidik is I, Kametz hatuf is O, remember this is the short O, and shuduk is U. So the transliteration of these short vowels is simple. It's A, E, I, O, U. Now the reduced ones, we may as well go down there first. They are the same thing with a little, I'm not sure what they call it, brev or breve, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. This upside down curved thing. That's how you mark these. So it's the same letter as above as the one it's reduced from. I'll skip this for a second. O with a little U on it, a little cup, and this one has nothing. And now the shava can be done like this. You leave the dot off, and you put a little cup just like that. So that corresponds to these ones. Sometimes it is also transliterated with a raised E, just a small raised E, slightly higher than the baseline. So, if you remember, these little cups mean reduced. Small little cup means reduced to half vowel. If there's no mark on if there's no diacritical mark on the transliterated letter, then it's just a plain old short tone. Now the long tone uses the same letters, but we add a macron, which is a line on top. So, looks like this. Patach is just a straight A. Kametz is A with a macron. Likewise, this will have a macron. Sagol is just a straight E. Tzere is E with a macron. Now, do we put the... I guess we drop the dots. Let me do this. It didn't show up very well, did it? So I with a macron is our long hidik. Our short hidik is the regular English I. And holem, O with the macron, as opposed to O for the kametz hatuf. And the long kibbutz would be like this. U with a macron, as opposed to simply a U. So long tone vowels take a macron. Now historically long vowels take a circumflex. Where I'm going to put this here. It's just where I can find a spot, eh? So A with a circumflex. Likewise E with a circumflex. And I with a circumflex. And O with a circumflex. And U with a circumflex. So this chart really helps for transliteration. Short tone is just your basic letter. Reduced or half have this little cup. Long tone has the macron, the horizontal line on top, and the historically long vowels have the circumflex. Now another one of my teachers came up with a really what I thought was a quite clever little way to remember that the circumflex goes on the one with the historically long vowel. Historically long vowels, if you remember, are the ones that have the maters. These are all have the maters, these consonants, right? And mater means mother. So this looks a bit like the roof of a house. So if you see the roof of the house, then you know the mother is in the house. The mater is in the house. So the circumflex goes with the maters. If that helps you, that's great. So that's how you transliterate vowels in Hebrew, and this chart, as opposed to the previous simplified chart, shows the distinction between true historical long vowels and long tone vowels.
Okay, let's do some practical stuff. Let's go to read something. Oh, okay. De toetsenbord is op zijn kop. Let's blow this up. Okay. Share. There we go. All right. This is Genesis 1:1. And now we can see, we can make it bigger even. Oh. How can I make it bigger? Yeah, that's better. This is the first sentence in the Bible. Let's use a different color so you can recognize it. So here we see, this is the first vowel we see. This is not an actual vowel, but okay. The Bereshit. So you see here, the I is combined, the Chedek Yud. So you see it over here, the I with a rooftop on it. So it's the combination Bereshit. Here we see Elohim, and you see over here the Cholam. Maybe even bigger. Try to make it bigger. Yeah, that's as big as it goes. The Cholam is over here. You see it on the left side top of the Lamed. Here you have again Hashamayim. It's the Hey with the Petach under it. The Shin with the Kamets. Then the Ma, it's again a Petach. And a Chirek. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vowels in Hashamayim. We go to the next verse.
What is the dot in the shin?
Net vragen.
The dot in the shin. Okay. When we have the begat gevat letters, you have a dot in a letter, and this is the B, and this is the V sound. But the name of this dot was called a dagesh lene. Remember? And it's a soft or weak dagesh. In the shin, you see a dot over here, and that is a dagesh forte. It's a strong dagesh because it doesn't change the pronunciation of the vowel, it makes it double. So actually, it says shin, shin. And you see that over here because you see two shins. You see that? So it's not ha shamayim, it's hash shamayim. Because when you see this, maybe change my color. These little dots separate the syllables. So this word, Hashemayim, has 4 syllables. And you can see Hash is a closed syllable because it's a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. Sha is an open syllable. Ma is an open syllable. And Yim is again a closed syllable. We will get that when we go to study the syllables, but you asked the question, so the point is that you see over here the dot in the shin doubles the letter, and it doesn't change the sound because it's not a dagesh lene, it's a dagesh forte. It doubles the letter.
Top.
Let's see if
Ik
it...
kan een vraag.
Yes?
Er is een komma in de shin bij Bereshit en een komma in Hashamaim, net voor die bij de mem, bij de shin.
Yep, yeah.
Komma, die zie ik niet.
You mean this one?
Ja, ja.
Yeah, that is a signal to pronounce how to sing the verse. These symbols, and sometimes they are on top of a letter. Again, here's another one. And here's another one. And here's another one. And here's another one. They help you to pronounce or to sing the word.
Okay.
So these are extra accents in the text that help you understand when you sing. They don't have to do with the meaning of the word, but how to pronounce it.
Top.
Let's go to the next verse, make it practical. I like that. Okay. Oh, no, I need to clean this. My eraser.
You're doing great.
Uppity. There we go. Now I can go down. Now we see the second verse. And when you see in Hebrew like this, you get a better understanding of how the word is pronounced. Because you see here, v'ha'aretz. Remember in the Hebrew vowel chart, he said that this symbol over here, those 2 dots, it's called a sheva. And it's a very short, reduced E sound. And it's transcribed as V, like in the Dutch word begin. It's a very short E sound. So it's we haaretz. So the vowels in we haaretz are all normal vowels, no historical vowels. You see, this is a kametz, and a tzere. No historical long. Hayeta again. Because we know that the kametz is not combined with the yod. So we know this is not a mater, the yod. It's a consonant. So we have ha, ye, ta. And again, open, open, closed. This is tohu, and now we see the mater over here. And you see it over here. And what's very difficult to see in here, I will make it bigger. It's a taf, then it's the cholam, and then this weird accent sign. That's what it says, but you almost don't see the cholam inside it. So you know it's tohu, and the hey with the cholam vav. The next word, vavohu. People always say tohu and bohu, but in Hebrew, in this word, it's vavohu, because it's the soft B. So we have here the vav with the kametz. Then we have the beit with the cholam. And we have the hey with the cholam vav. The cholam, not the shurek. Sorry. So these three are all open syllables. They all end with the vowel. Va, bo, hu. The next word, v'choshech. Again, the vav with the shwa, v. The cholam is over here. So you have the chet with the cholam. Then you have the shin with the segol, and the kaf and the end. V'choshech. Another word, Elohim, you already have. V'ruach, over here.
Vraagje.
Yes.
The final kaf in Wohoshek, why does it has 2 dots for an E when it's a closed syllable?
I knew the answer. I knew it. What was the answer? I need to look it up again. I've read it, but I forgot. Sorry. It has to do with the final kaf. It's not a pronunciation, but it has a name, but I forgot it. Sorry. You mean this 2 dots over here?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Most of the time you find them in the final kaf. Beruach. And this is interesting. Oh, there we go. So we have the vav with the shiva. It's a very so v, ru. So you see here, there is this line on top of the u sound. That's interesting. This should be spelled like this. It should be like this. That's interesting. Because it's not a kibbutz, it's a shurek. Yeah. I find it. I have to look it up. Why is it interesting? So the ruach, it's 3 syllables, close, open, all are open. This is one syllable, ru. And this is ach. So it's a vowel and then the get at the end. Any questions from this? Want to do another verse or not?
Ik zag net ergens, waar was het hier? Bij wabohu, daar staat er boven de beet, staan 2 puntjes. Wat betekenen die dan?
Uitspraak. Al die andere symbooltjes, all the different symbols are meant for pronunciation and singing.
Oh, ook voor zingen, oké.
Ja,
Nou,
ja.
ga ik het nog een keertje zingen?
Dat is de vervolgcursus.
Ja.
Oké.
So
Oké.
this one over here and this one, they are all for singing purposes.
Oké.
Over here.
Suggestion for new translation. Give them another color.
Yeah, over here and over here.
Ik heb zo ook nog een vraagje, Ronald.
Oké.
Nu denk je dat er wordt uitgezet met mute. Is hij dan uit?
Ik sta als goed is nu aan. Hoor je mij, Ronald?
Ja, maar nou niet meer. Okay. And I have to clean up my board. I do it the easy way. So let's clean up the board.
Maar ik had ook nog een vraagje.
Ja?
Die bij dat laatste woord, hè? Die get en dan staat die A eronder. Maar je spreekt het A uit als A, ruach, zeg maar. Maar die A moet je later lezen, naar mijn idee. Je leest
You
eerst
mean
de
in ruach over here?
Ja, de get en dan de A, klinker.
This one. You mean
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah? It must be
Yeah.
the other way, I think. First the H and then the A.
No, this is what we call a furtive patach. That I will show the video in a moment.
All
Because
right.
we're almost the same as in the word Noach. It has the same. And ruach has the same.
Okay.
It's called a furtive patach. I will do that in a moment, okay?
All right. Thank you.
I have to clean my board again. It's the easy way to clean the board. Verse 3. Vayomer. Vayomer. We have the Vav with the Patach. Then we have the Yod, and you will see the Yod has a dot inside of it. You see that over here? The Yod has a dot inside of it and a dot on top of it. So I have enlightened it a little bit. It's a Yod with a dot inside and a dot on top of it. So it means Y. So the first syllable takes one Yod, and then the next syllable starts with another Yod. Vayomer. Only one Yod is written over here. It's only one Yod written, but there are two pronounced. It's not Vayomer, it's Vayomer.
Why not 2 dots in the Yod?
Again, please again. I didn't hear it.
Why not 2 dots in the Yod?
It's only, you need, it's a Dagesh forte, so it's only one dot. That is by the shin in the beginning, there's only one yud. It's a double. It means to double the yud. So you have two yuds here. 1, 2.
Dagesh forte, yeah.
Yeah, the aleph, you don't see the aleph. The aleph is there for some reason that I don't know. I'm also a student, I'm learning, but it has to do with the pronunciation. So the aleph is silent, it's a silent letter. It can carry a vowel, but I don't know what it's doing over here. The same is in Bereshit. You also have the aleph over there. And why it's in here, I don't know. You need to ask a Hebrew teacher, but I'm trying to learn it also. Maybe we come to that in a future lesson. You see that the word Elohim, this has a different symbol. In the previous verse, this symbol was not there. It was something on top of the dalet, of the hay. So that means it's the same word, but you pronounce it differently. And I don't know how you do that, but that's what these marks are here. You see again here, a mark and another mark. It has nothing to do with the actual text, but the way how to pronounce or to sing it. So, Vai Yo Mer. The yud is doubled. Elohim. Elohim. So it's not Elohim. There is only one lamed. And the first syllable is this. It's an aleph with the chataf segol, the very short E sound. So it's not Elohim, it's Elohim. Then the lamed with this one, the cholem, and then the hay with, and you see it's over here, the rooftop, so it's a mater. Let's erase this one. I can make it clear. This is a chirek yud. So the him it's a hey, it's an I and an M. So the dot beneath the hey is connected to the yud in the next letter. Okay. Now I want to share something else, and that's a video from the furtive patach. Let's have a look at that. That's the question about the ach sound in ruach. Where are you? Make that bigger.
The furtive patach. The furtive patach really is not a very difficult concept. What it is a patach that shows up furtively or sneakily around certain gutturals, just before them. Remember, our gutturals are aleph, and ayin, and chet, and hey. Now, aleph is silent. If anything, it's a glottal stop, so it's really a silent letter. Ayin can be pronounced, though. It's a low sound in the back of the throat. And chet and hey can be pronounced. So these are our three sort of pronounceable gutturals. And these are the ones where the furtive patach shows up. The classic example, textbook example, is ruach, which means spirit, wind, or breath. Now this is how you spell it, resh, shuruk, and chet. Because this is a guttural, you'll get this patach showing up right here. And generally it's written a little bit to the right. Not all texts will do this, but generally it's written here a little to the right to show that it's pronounced before the chet. So ruach. And it's there for phonetic reasons. It's there because it helps you pronounce, it helps you move from this vowel to pronouncing this guttural. But it's not, it doesn't add another syllable. So this is our exception that I mentioned before. The only case where you have two vowels, if you want to call this a vowel in this case. Some textbooks will say this isn't a vowel, but whatever. It's a vowel. You have two vowels for one syllable. It's the only case where you have that. And it's furtive because it's showing up furtively, I guess. It's also, this will never be stressed by itself. This will be the stressed vowel.
So this was an answer to the question, what does the patach do underneath the chet from ruach? And the word furtive in Dutch means heimelijk, stils, sluiks, of spontaan. Another word is noach. That's a nun with a furtive patach underneath it. So it's almost 9 o'clock. We did a recap of lesson 2 for the vowels. We took so much time because the vowels and the letters, of course, but the vowels are important to understand what to read and what kind of vowels there are. So when you go to interlinear scripture now, you start recognizing all these little symbols around them and start to distinguish between, oh, this is a vowel and this has to do with pronunciation. And all these questions you had were very good, were very valid, because they help you understand. That means that you are very meticulous at looking at the text. So these questions were very good you asked, because you see something in the text that you can't explain. And there is a paragraph on these accents in the text. Well, it's chapter 4, but it's there. It's about how to pronounce. But even in the textbook, it doesn't explain them. You learn that in Torah class. When you start singing for your bar mitzvah, then you learn how to sing the text, and we're not doing that. So the best way to deal with them is to neglect them. We do this, we learn this language in order to get a better understanding of biblical Hebrew. So when you see a translation of a text in Dutch or in English, and you want to know the deeper meaning, you can now go to the original text, to the Hebrew, in the interlinear, and you can now recognize not only letters, but you can also recognize vowels, and that will help you better understand how to deal with some certain words and what the deeper meaning of these words are. So thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we go to syllables, and then you can take a look already in front for the syllable lessons. And yes, I'm taking deliberately a long time. I'm not rushing these vowel sessions because it's important. For us as Westerners, it's a difficult language. We need to learn all these symbols, all the different symbols in the letters, and then now all these vowels. So we need to take time in order to get acquainted to what kind of system there is in Hebrew, and then you can learn to understand it. Okay? So keep hanging in. Keep hanging in. We will get there.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ronald. Bye.
Bye.